Hey, hello everybody there in YouTube land and returning subscribers, new viewers, and everyone out there in the vinyl community. Today I'm doing something that I have wanted to do for ages, or at least since I started the channel, and that's a vinyl tag video. And yeah, so basically this is something that the vinyl community does all the time, and I don't know, last time I guess I chickened out or whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I want to do some other kind of videos, not just the review videos and just the ranking videos, but branch out a little bit, and yeah, this is like the perfect opportunity, and it's also a lot of fun. Like, I love watching people's picks. Like, it's so varied, and the reasoning, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So today's video is brought to you by A Tribe Called Quest, and when the question is, can I kick it? Yes, you can. And I don't need no ham and eggs because it's high in cholesterol. That's a fun record. So, to the list, the vinyl tag list. The first one is my favorite release of 2022, and spoiler to one of the questions coming up, but my favorite release was not my most listened to that year, but it definitely became one of the most listened to that year, and now it's become the most listened to this year, and I got to see them live this year, and this is just the perfect record. Just the textures and the melodic songwriting and Molly Rankin's just perfect voice. I love the lyrics. I love the originality. You know, it's kind of like all those old shoegaze bands, but it's just modernized, modern production. The lyrics are less vague, they're more personal, and that works to its credit. And Pressed became my most played track of last year and probably this year as well. And just every song is perfect. They were one of the most incredible live experiences I've had post-COVID. And yeah, just amazing, amazing album. Can't wait to see what that band brings us next. I love everything they do. Speaking of good live shows, last band or artist you saw live. Now this is kind of a holdover from one other video I did, but Econoline Crush. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get anything by this band on vinyl. You can put out $100 to get this EP, which is an incredible EP, and I love these three songs. But yeah, would love to have Devil You Know or Brand New History or Affliction or really any of their albums on vinyl. I would probably buy them all. I would definitely buy them all per GP. Love this band. Love Trevor Hurst. Ziggy played on this, so R.I.P. to Ziggy Sigmund of Slow and Econoline Crush fame and tons of other bands. Yeah, just love everything about this band and can't wait for the inevitable new album dropping, hopefully still this year. And yeah, would love to see more vinyl pressings from these guys. I kind of cheated though because this isn't the last band I've seen live, but it's the last major band I've seen. We've been going to a lot of free shows and stuff this summer and one club show, but nothing I have vinyl from, and yeah, most of those bands don't even have releases on anything, let alone vinyl, I don't think. Alright, the number 3 question was their first album was their best album, and I probably wouldn't have said this 10 years ago, but I do kind of agree with the general populace of record collectors and fans of obscure 70s rock bands, and I would say that Captain Beyond's debut is probably their best. It's definitely their most consistent. It's a lot of fun. It rocks. There's so many, 5 out of 5 experiences out of this. I've had this one for quite a while, but I've never had Sufficiently Breathless, which I like almost as much, and more than most people, I quite like their third album. I don't think it reaches the heights of this one, but I was kind of going through the collection, and it's like, I'm looking, Pink Floyd, well, their debut's good, but it's not my favorite of theirs, though I would probably give it 4.5 or 5 stars out of 5 for originality alone, and just Syd Barrett's vision. But then other artists like Bowie and Radiohead and stuff, it's like, I don't know, they had kind of humble beginnings, I would say, especially Bowie. Like, I actually like his debut less than his some of his 80s atrocities, I will call them. I actually think they're interesting failures, whereas the first album bores me to tears. which is the only time you could ever say that about Bowie. Number 4 is, oh, number 4 comes with more props. Hello. So, number 4 is Hat Trick. Should have worn a hat for this video. Show the vinyl, CD, and cassette of an album. So, I'm going to go with the Tragically Hip, their first full length, up to here. I did have quite a few Tragically Hip cassettes, at least of their 90s releases, and I have all the CDs and then all the vinyls, so it was easy for that band. I could have chosen Floyd or Fleetwood Mac or one of my other favorites, but I'm kind of trying to do some equal distribution, so we'll see those bands too. But up to here is amazing. Of course, Blow It High Dough, one of their best opener songs and one of the best songs from them in general and songs performed live. Also, I'll Be Leaving You, She Didn't Know, New Orleans is Sinking, just a classic song, 38 years old. Lots of classics. Another Midnight's really nice. Trickle Down is a lot of fun. Opiated is a great closer. Yeah, awesome full-length debut from the Canadian boys, In God We Trust. And yeah, always have some time for the Hip. Love the Hip so much. One of my favorite bands for sure. And sorry, I'm really old school. I just have these on post-it notes. Oh man, just got revealed there. Number 5 is an album that starts with and ends with the same letter. So yeah, I wish I had that Tom York soundtrack album, but I'm gonna go with, and cheat a little bit, but Saucer Full of Secrets. I guess it's a Saucer Full of Secrets, but this is the closest one I could find. And I was trying to think, does ABBA have like a self-titled album, or you know, I really wish I had Tom York's Anima? Anyway, I love that that album. I'll probably never see the movie because it's really not my bag, but I would love to have that album. That's some of his best solo work. Yeah, I was kind of starting to tear my hair out, which is why there's a patch over here, but thinking like, what fits the criteria? But this is kind of cheating because it's a Saucer Full of Secrets, but I always just call it Saucer Full of Secrets, so I don't know. I guess I'll just take the L on that one. Number 6, to redeem myself, is an album that came out the year you were born, and that's 1988's Spirit of Eden, one of the best albums ever recorded and released, and just a religious experience all around, just a treat for the headphones. I could have picked this one. This is one of the first, if not maybe the first, albums that I had the cassette, the CD, and the record. And I own the CD a couple times, and one of the reasons is they gave you a copy with the album. Sorry, it's really sunny today, which is not a complaint ever, except when you film a video. But yeah, Talk Talk, Mark Hollis, I mean, one of the best bands ever. And I just showed you what is it? Number 7? Number 7 most listened to album of 2022. Now, it should have been Blue Rev, because that did end up being my favorite. And it seems like that's my most played this year. It's like far, far and away the most played. I'm addicted to it. And yeah, I just have all the best things to say about Always. But my most listened to was definitely last year. It was Unlimited Love by the Chili Peppers. I was so excited for the comeback and the comeback of John Frusciante. I don't really agree with how they treated Josh when they gave him his walking papers, and I think it could have been cool to have a 5-piece. But be that as it may, I saw them in Vegas last year, and that was amazing, and just listening to this, hyping myself up. And I saw them this year with a buddy of mine, a little closer to home, and I do prefer the next record just a little bit because it takes a couple more chances, and there's some moments where it's kind of batshit insane, and I love that from the Chili's. It's kind of reconnecting with their youth and all their wild days, and this one's a little more like kind of Stadium Arcadium, like, you know, the more tried and true Chili Peppers sound of a maturing band, but I mean, it's still a great album. There's nothing bad here, and I love Aquatic Mouth Dance. I love Here Ever After. Poster Child is great. It's Only Natural is beautiful. yeah, it's a great record. I mean, the musicianship is always there. There's kind of a couple naff uh, lyrics, but you know that's par for the course. Anyway, speaking of Chili Peppers, what is it now? A most listened to album, most listened to artists. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was the Chili Peppers as well, and I think releasing two albums in the same year helped that. Also, that it was the first material in 6 years, and also that I was seeing them live again, and for the first time with John, because the first couple times I saw them live was not with Mr. Frusciante. Yeah, so my most listened to album was Unlimited Love, and my most listened to artist was also the Chili Peppers, and I do prefer this album. Like I said, it takes a few more chances, and it's just crazy in some points, you know? Fake is great. Peace and Love, I love that one. Tip of My Tongue, I'm sure if you listen to the radio, that one's overplayed, but that's a great first single. Reach Out is fun. Eddie is a nice, heartfelt tribute to Eddie Van Halen. And there's lots of experimental songs, especially in side C and D. And there's a couple songs with just a drum machine, which is obviously disappointing for some fans, but it's kind of cool to get a new fold in that a band so old, they're up there in age, that they're willing to still experiment. I always appreciate that from any band, but this band is not. An Australian band slash artist. Now, I don't have any Tame Impala physically. I do on CD, but I didn't have any vinyl, so I'm like, AC/DC, of course. And Back in Black, I mean, you know, what? It's like Dark Side of the Moon or Rumors. Like, what else can you say about it? It exists, and it was huge, and it was huge for a reason. I know a lot of people are like, we're sick of it, but, you know, if you kind of sit down with it again, it's a lot of fun, and I will say that Back in Black and Hell's Bells are probably the best AC/DC songs, though I do like a lot of the songs on a lot of the follow-ups, which a lot of people don't, but I was kind of mad at myself that I didn't have, like, Highway to Hell or anything like that. It's funny, sometimes you go through your record collection after a while, and there's gaps you miss, and then there's also stuff that you're like, oh yeah, I do have that, and maybe I should put that on. Now, I don't know, a surprising purchase. Number 10, a surprising purchase of 2022. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to be like, whoa, I purchased this? But disco remixes and stuff don't seem like the type of thing that should be in my collection. But I don't mind some disco now and then, and I like the work of Walter Gibbons. And this is jungle music, and it's remixes of Arts and Craft, Gladys Knight, Jackie, and Dinosaur L, which is a synonym or a moniker of Arthur Russell, who I love his work. But yeah, I mean, the Arts and Crafts song and the Jackie song, I mean, those are absolutely incredible and worth the price of admission alone. Yeah, it was just nice that I found a copy of that. But it's just, I guess it's just surprising because it doesn't really go with a lot of the other things in my collection, and a lot of people would be like, we didn't know you listened to that kind of stuff. But I do, and it's really good. Okay, a band slash artist where I have the complete collection of, and of course, you know, I wanted to go for, you know, something like Fleetwood Mac, because I do have all the solo work too, or a lot of the solo work, but I definitely have all the main band albums. And a lot of them, like I think I have 4 copies of Tusk, but I thought I'd go for Animal Collective because I've been happily collecting all their records since Strawberry Jam came out, and I went back and I, you know, purchased all the ones before that, you know, just filling in the blanks, and I actually don't really dislike anything by this band, at least for their full lengths. And I even have some of their experimental, like, EPs and a remix EP and a live set. And there's a couple live things that I still need to get from them. I think one's called Live at 9:30, which is... no, maybe it's another live one. Anyway, but yeah, all the studio work I have, so that counts. I also could have picked Floyd, but I picked them for the cheat one, the Saucer Full of Secrets one. And Time Skiffs, I really liked it on my first few listens, but it just grew and grew, and you know, now it's up there in the ranks for AC records. I really like this one, and I'm really looking forward to the companion piece that's coming out in September. There's a couple tracks from it out now, including the 20-minute defeat, which is one of the coolest things they've ever done. But, you know, I mean, Dragon Slayer, Prester John, Cherokee, oh, Royal and Desire, the closing song, Deacon, oh my god, man. Yeah, otherworldly stuff. I really love it. Number 12, a great run of 3 albums. And this is when I really wanted some more Modest Mouse, but I would have to cheat and show some CDs, and that just, you can't do that for the vinyl tag. I would have picked their first few albums. But I went with Fleetwood Mac. And so Penguin comes first. I love Penguin. I didn't really, when I was a teenager and was getting into Fleetwood Mac, I bought Penguin and I enjoyed the Bob Welch songs, and that was about it. I thought the Christine ones were boring and the Dave Walker ones were dire. But now I really like this record. It doesn't sound like any of their other records. Don't worry, I have a better copy in better condition, but it's in a box set. And of course it has the gatefold. It's so 70s, and they're just a happy, humble band. Though it must have been difficult too. I think it was, especially for Bob. So we got that, and then we got Mystery to Me, which is one of my all-time favorite Fleetwood Mac records. You know, Hypnotized, Emerald Eyes, Forever, Christine with Why, oh my god. Thank you, Christine, for your material. Thank you, Bob. Rest in power to both of those guys. Keep on Going, written by Bob, sung by Christine. Somebody, that's funky. I love that one. And then Heroes Are Hard to Find, with that album art that makes a lot of people go, but the material is there. Like, there's this mysticism this group had even before Stevie and Lindsay joined the group, and I think a lot of people don't give those eras the time of day, the earlier eras, but there's a mysticism flowing through from the Peter Green stuff all the way here, and you can hear it on, you know, Coming Home and Angel and Bermuda Triangle. And Christine's no slouch either. I mean, Heroes Are Hard to Find. What a single that was. So yeah, anyway, that's gonna be the one. And people are like, well, why didn't you choose self-titled, Rumors, and Tusk? And why didn't you choose Rumors, Tusk, or Mirage? Or, well, because I really like all the eras of Fleetwood Mac, and I always like shining a light on the non-Lindsay and Stevie material. So, number 13 is going to be this one. Get it together here. Number 13 is an 80s soundtrack, so it's going to be Blade Runner, and there we go, Blade Runner. Amazing masterwork of a science fiction picture. Of course, Harrison Ford, lovely gatefold, and just amazing work by Vangelis, who did, you know, I was looking at the question and I'm like, oh, I don't really have any 80s soundtracks. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Blade Runner, sweet. Though I do need to get a couple more that I love, but I was thinking, yeah, Blade Runner. And then I was like, Vangelis, oh, I have Chariots of Fire. I've never even seen the movie, but I've heard kind of mixed things. I know it did well at the time, but the soundtrack is great anyway. But yeah, Blade Runner, an 80s soundtrack, and just an absolutely incredible movie and marriage of you know, cinema and music. Harrison Ford, there he is right there. I've been watching a lot of Indiana Jones lately, so yeah, I gotta put this one on. I love Harrison Ford's acting, at least in movies like this. Stuff like Air Force One, but, and there's Sean Young on the cover too. Love that movie, and love that soundtrack too. So what are we up to here? We lost them in 2022, so rest in peace to all the fallen, but of course this one probably hit me the hardest, being such a Fleetwood Mac fan and such a fan of the songbird herself, Christine McVie. I chose this one because even with the slightly too 80s production, this one is my favorite of her solo work. I think I said that in my Christine McVie ranking video. And, you know, it's got Ask Anybody, which is probably my favorite Christine solo song. though the Love Will Show Us How is amazing. The Challenge, The Smile I Live For, great material on this record. Just a really nice soft rock, soft pop album, and she is such an incredible writer and singer of love songs, and that voice is just so good, just so timeless. This is why you shouldn't put your notes on post-it notes. A disappointing purchase of 2022. Now, yeah, I don't really have one for that. So I'm going to go right to number 16, a non-album purchase. And because I can never listen to the early Supertramp on Spotify, I purchased this so I can listen to it around the house and stuff. I did have a digital copy before my computer blew up on me, but I actually quite like this record, and I like the 12-minute Try Again. I like just how much they were leaning into prog, and I like the follow-up quite a bit too, but neither are on Spotify, so yeah, it's just 9 tracks, because I wouldn't count the first Shirley as a track, but the last Shirley is an actual song. Anyway, humble beginnings, but well, not really. A lot of, if someone was really flipping all the bills for them back then, they really lucked out. But they became a really, established, talented, creative band. But I do like the first couple. So that's a non-album purchase. Okay, so number 17, I found a Grail. Yeah, I would consider this one a Grail. Morricone, just some... basically a compilation of a lot of his work that isn't quite as talked about, and a lot of it has never been issued on vinyl, and this came out on Beatball Records apparently, and it's just got a lot of crazy avant-garde and just crazy scores from mostly a bunch of like Italian cinema that I've never even heard of. Though some of the like movie posters in here really make me want to check some of these out. And hold up, the gatefold is just beautiful. Like, look at the art in here. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a great. Of course, that's Charles Bronson right there. Who I'm not a huge fan of his movies, but it's fun to see him there anyway. I don't know, there's a lot of intrigue here, and I did listen to it a lot. I really like it. It was pretty expensive, if I remember correctly, but definitely worth every penny. Very cool set. So I found a Grail. That would be the Grail. The Grail! You seek the Grail. 18 is a space-themed album sleeve. So I could have put Captain Begone in there, but I'm going to put Yes. And this is one of my favorite Yes ever, Tales of a Topographic Ocean. Did I get that right? Tales from Topographic Oceans. It's one of my favorites, and I forgot the name. Please excuse me, they have like, 24 albums or something like that? This is a great one. I mean, it's just 4 songs, but 4 really long songs, like 4 20-minute long songs. Came out in 1973. And I mean, that's quite earthy, but it's also very spacey, I would say. So, it's always, with the Roger Dean artwork, it's always like, is this supposed to be an alien planet, or is this supposed to be Earth? So I don't know if I'm cheating or not. You can tell me in the comments and make me choose something else. Show some VCLT or present. See, I'm not really a big part of this community. I wish I was, but so I don't get presents from there. I just have this little humble channel, but I do get presents from people every once in a while. Real people on planet Earth. And I got this Catronata record back in March, and I wasn't really that familiar. Like, I knew about it. I knew he was a great producer, and that he worked with Gorillaz. One of his songs came out on the Humans, like, B-sides thing. That was hugely expensive, so I never got it. But it was a good track, anyway. Good collaboration. And, yeah, this is a really sweet album with lots of great features from, Little Dragons on here and Craig David. And very cool songs. just love the bass on this thing, and yeah, because of this, I've been checking out other things from Kaytranada and really enjoying. Is this the last one? An album released in 1973? I guess this is it. It's 20 questions. And this is the big behemoth of Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin, the giants themselves, rock giants. Amazing album, amazing artists, and maybe I'll just open it up so I can... I don't know if YouTube will like me to show this cover art, though, so maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just keep it at that, because that's some not safe for work cover art, right? We all know that. We all know it. So, I don't know. YouTube is weird with, censored, with, nudity and stuff like that, so... And in this case, I get it. Yeah, so that's a fun vinyl tag video, and thanks so much for watching, everybody, and let me know if you like these and want more of these non-ranking videos and non-review videos. Peace and love, thanks for making it through the whole thing, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright.